Good morning students, this is my lecture number 3 for class 12 subject English for chapter number 4 The Enemy from your supplementary reader Vistas. This chapter 4 The Enemy was taught you in lecture number 1 and lecture number 2, and today in lecture number 3 I will make you recall what we studied in lecture number 2, and then we will proceed further from page number 39 to 42. Let's recap lecture number 1. In lecture number 1, I told you in this chapter The Enemy, Dr. Sadau's upbringing and his profession. Dr. Sadau was the only son of his parents, and he had not seen his mother also, but his father was a very austere man whose chief concern was his education. Therefore, his father remained always serious with him, who never cracked any joke with him, never played any game with him, but he focused, as his lifetime desire was his son should become a doctor. Then Dr. Sadau's marriage with Hannah. Sadau met Hannah there in America when he went to study medicines and surgery there. But he did not express his love to Hannah, as he was worried for his father, that his father would not accept Hannah unless she belonged to a pure race of Japanese. Therefore, Dr. Sadau married to Hannah after coming back to Japan, though they fell in love for each other there in America. Then one day, when they were enjoying the weather and remembering their past of their meeting, they found a black figure coming towards them from the seashore. Then they leaned over the railing and ran out of their home to see who that black figure was. Then they found that black figure was actually an American person with white body and yellow beard. And Hannah took no time to find that the man was an American prisoner of war, because on his battered cap it was written US Navy. That was the time when America was at war with Japan, and all Japanese thought that all Americans were their enemies. This Japanese doctor, Dr. Sadau, found that American in front of him who was bleeding badly, because he had a bullet somewhere in his body, and Dr. Sadau knew, being the best doctor in the whole Japan, he could treat that man very well and could save his life. But his patriotism came in between, and he gave priority to his duty being a doctor. Therefore, he decided to treat the man, and he carried the injured man to his home with the help of his wife Hannah. Then all the other members expressed or showed their behavior when they got to know that their master was ready to treat the man and he had decided to operate on him. This attitude of Dr. Sadau had made all his servants unhappy. Then the servants got angry with their master, the cook, the gardener, and in fact the children's caretaker Yumi. All three of them got angry with their master because their master had decided to work on that American prisoner of war in order to save his life. And before he could operate on him, he wanted somebody to clean the wound of that injured man so that Dr. Sadau would continue with his operation on his injured body. Therefore, Hannah decided to call Yumi to wash the wound of that American prisoner of war. This was what we did from page number 24 to 30 in lecture number 1. Let us recapitulate lecture number 2. In lecture number 2, I taught you how Hannah put her efforts in cleaning the enemy, and we talked about Sadau's determination for operating the man, then Hannah's reaction on seeing the wound, then Sadau's behavior in Hannah's absence, and then Hannah's sympathy for the enemy, how the bullet was taken out by the doctor. Then he declared that the injured man would surely live. Then the recovery of the American soldier at their home, and to this how servants reacted, Hannah's and Sadau's action over a period of time. All these bullet points I explained in detail in lecture number 2. And children, now we will proceed further from page number 39 to 42 of the same chapter. Page number 39 begins with the departure of the servants from Dr. Sadau's home. It was the 7th day when the servants of the house left in the morning. They had tied their belongings in huge piece of cloth. When Hannah got up in the morning, she saw that the work had not been done. The house was dirty and the food had not been cooked. She realized that the servants were up to something. She was shocked and horrified when she came to know that the servants were leaving them. Hannah did not show her feelings to the servants. Instead, she remained calm and maintained her grace as the lady of the house. She paid the servants and thanked them for their services. As the servants had been working there for many years, they were crying, but Hannah did not cry at all. The cook and the gardener were very old employees of Dr. Sadau. They had been employed by his father and had served Sadau since his childhood. Yumi was crying because she would miss the children. She was so sad that she ran up to Hannah after she had left. Yumi said to Hannah, if the baby missed her at night, she could call her. She further added that she was going to her own house and Hannah knew where her house was. Hannah smiled and thanked her for the offer, but to herself she said that in case of baby cried, she would not call for Yumi. Now, we'll tell about the things happened after the servants left their home. Hannah had to prepare the breakfast herself and Sadau helped her by looking after the children. Neither of them talked regarding the servants, but after Hannah served the morning food to the prisoner of war, she came back to Sadau, probably to talk something. Hannah was very much worried and she questioned why they were not very clear about what they ought to do. She added that even their servants were very clear as compared to them. She said why they were behaving differently from other Japanese people. Hannah wanted to say that as Americans were their enemies, so they should not have treated that prisoner of war and they should have let him die just like any other Japanese would have done. Sadau did not reply to Hannah, but after some time, he went into the room where the prisoner of war was resting. He said that day the man could get up and stand on his own feet. Sadau wanted him to stand up only for 5 minutes at a time. Further, he added that the next day he could try to stand for double the time, that is 10 minutes. Sadau also said that it would be good for everyone that the man regained strength as soon as possible. Sadau hinted that they wanted to get rid of the American as early because he had become a cause of trouble for them. Sadau saw that his words brought a hint of terror and scare on the face of the young boy. His face was still very pale and colorless because he was very weak. The boy spoke in a low voice and said, "Okay." It appeared that he wanted to speak something more, but he just said that he wanted to thank Sadau for saving his life. Sadau was very expressionless when he said that the boy did not need to thank him yet. As he spoke this, he saw that the hint of scare again appeared in the boy's eyes. The writer compares the boy's terrorized eyes to that of a scared animal. The injury marks on the neck of the boy turned the bright red in color. For a while, Sadao thought, what has caused those injury marks? But he did not ask the boy about any one of his injury marks. After the servants left Dr. Sadao's house, another incident happened in the afternoon. Hana was busy with the household work as the servants had left. All of a sudden, she had to perform all the work which she was not used to. She was very tired. She saw that a messenger wearing official uniform had come to the house. As she saw him, her hands went weak and she was unable to breathe. This was because she felt that the servants must have told the authorities that they were sheltering an enemy. Hana ran up to Dr. Sadao and she was struggling to breathe. She was unable to speak anything. By that time, the messenger also followed her through the garden and he stood in front of Sadao. Hana was helpless and she pointed her finger towards the messenger. Sadao was reading a book. When he saw Hana, he looked up. He was sitting in his office, which had a partition in it. The part of the office beyond the partition opened into a garden and was full of southern sunshine. This means that the sunshine which entered the office was not direct and bright, instead, it was a shady sunshine. Sadao asked the messenger the matter due to which he had visited them. The messenger said that Sadao was supposed to accompany him to the palace. He added that the old general was suffering in pain and Sadao was supposed to visit him and treat him as a doctor. Upon hearing these words, Hana was relieved and she said, "Oh." With this, she took a deep breath and asked that all for which the messenger had come. The messenger reacted and said, "All?" He could not understand what else could it be for which he was supposed to visit the house. Hana was sorry for her reaction and said that was the reason. That reason was not enough for the messenger to visit them. She did not need any other reason for him to visit them. As Sadao had to accompany the messenger, he went to Hana to say goodbye. Hana was in the kitchen, but she was not doing anything. The children had gone to sleep and Hana was taking rest. She was more tired due to the scare on seeing the messenger than she was from doing the household work. Hana said to Sadao that she had thought that the messenger had come to arrest him. Sadao looked carefully at Hana's anxious eyes. He was very sad and distressed, and he said that he must get rid of the man for Hana. He added that he had to get rid of the man by any means. Sadao went along with the messenger to visit the General Takima. Now we will see the conversation that took place between Dr. Sadao and General Takima. Sadao narrated the entire story to the general. The general, who was weak, said that he understood Sadao's position because he had also studied in America at the Princeton University, but there were only a few Japanese who had studied in America. Sadao replied to the general that he did not care for the American man, but as he had operated upon him successfully. The general interrupted him and said, Yes. He felt that Sadao was necessary part of his life. As Sadao had been successful at operating on the man, the general felt that Sadao was very skilled. The general asked, did Sadao think that the general had any chance of surviving another heart attack as the one he had that day? Sadao replied that in his opinion, the general could not survive more than one such heart attack. The general said that then in that case, he could not allow anything to happen to Sadao. He wanted to say that he needed Sadao and so he would protect him. The general's long, weak, yellowish face became expressionless because he was thinking about Sadao being arrested. The general wanted to say that he needed Sadao and he would protect him and he would not let anything happen to him at any cost. Sadao suggested to the general that there were many other surgeons in Japan. The general replied that he did not trust anyone else other than Sadao. He added that the best surgeons had been trained by the Germans and for them the operation would be successful even if the general died. The general wanted to say that they did not have such persons who could combine the harsh nature of a German and the emotional nature of an American. He said that if they would have been able to do that, then Sadao could be harsh and could turn the prisoner to the Japanese and at the same time be emotional and not murder the general during the operation. Then, with these words, the general laughed. The writer says that the general had a strange sense of humor. He was very witty, Sankey type of fellow. The general shook his head as he did not want to be such a person on whom a new trial would be made. Suddenly, the general felt weak and emotional as he was reminded of the problem he had faced throughout his life while fulfilling his duties and responsibilities in various wars won by Japan. The general was irritated and said that the happenings of the injured man reaching his house was an unfortunate one. Sadao agreed with him. After listening to Dr. Sadao, the general gave the idea of killing the American soldier to Dr. Sadao. He said that the best solution was to kill the man quietly. He added that he would not be killed by Sadao, but by his hired killers, assassins. Assassins means murderers. He would send 2 of his assassins to Dr. Sadao's house that night or any other night. Sadao did not need to know about it. As the weather was warm those days, he wanted Sadao to act naturally and keep the door of the outer partition of the man's room open. As it opened into the garden, it would give easy access to the killers while the man was asleep. Sadao agreed that the idea seemed natural. He added that they leave the door of the outer partition open every night. The general was over with the talk and so he yawned to show disinterest. He added that that was a very good thing. He commented that the killers were experts. They did not make any noise and killed the person in such a way that he bled inside. There would be no traces of blood on his body. He would even ask them to remove the dead body if Sadao wanted. Sadao thought about Hana and said that would be very good if they remove his body as well. Sadao went back home and on the way he kept on thinking of the plan that he had made along with the general. He thought that in this way he would not be involved in the death of that American man. He planned that he would not tell Hana anything about this plan. Hana would not like the idea of the hired killers coming to their house, but such persons were essential in a place like Japan. It was only way for the rulers to deal with their opponents. Now we will talk about the night of execution. Sadao did not let any thought enter his mind as he went into the room where the American man lay asleep. He was surprised to see the man out of his bed. He was getting ready to go out into the garden. Sadao was shocked as he asked him who had permitted him to stand and walk. Tom was happy and said that he was not in a habit of taking permission before doing anything. He said that he felt good again. Just the muscles on the sides of his body were stiff and rigid. Sadao was surprised to hear that. He forgot all work and said that he had warned the man not to stand and walk. He lifted the man's shirt and inspected his scar. He said that the massage could heal it if it would not be healed by exercise. The man said that the scar would not trouble him. His young bearded face was weak. He thanked Sadao and said if he had not reached Sadao that day, then he would have died. Tom added that he was sure of that, as he held their chair tightly with his thin hands and knuckle turned white in color. This indicated that he was still weak and had not recovered fully. Tom added, if all the Japanese people would have been like Sadao, then the war would not have happened. Sadao said that maybe that could be true. He added that the man should go to sleep now. He helped the man lay in bed, bowed to him, and said good night to him. All through that night, Sadao was restless, as he felt that the hired killers were there to kill the man. Time and time again he woke, thinking he heard the rustling of footsteps, the sound of a twig broken, or a stone displaced in the garden, a noise such as men might make who carried the burden. Burden means American's dead body. All this anxiety kept him awake the whole night. So children, this was the complete explanation of chapter number 4 from page number 39 to 42. Before I wind up, let me make you recall what we have done today in this lecture. We have talked about the departures of servants from Sadao's home. We have talked about the things happened after servants left. Then how the messenger in official uniform created a trouble for Hannah. She got scared seeing the man in official uniform at her doorstep. Then how Dr. Sadao went to see General Takima at his palace and the dialogues took place between Dr. Sadao and the general. Then how the general suggested the plan to kill the American soldier to Dr. Sadao. And then what happened to the night when Sadao was expecting general's assistants to come and kill that American prisoner of war. Now children, I'll assign you homework. All of you are supposed to read the explained chapter from page number 39 to 42 thoroughly and answer the questions given in read and find out box on page number 39. Children, it's mandatory to read the chapter thoroughly word to word from the book for better understanding of it. And then on the basis of your understanding, answer the assigned question. Thank you. This is the end of the lecture. Have a nice day.